Hello, this is my narrated slideshow on Web 2.0, collaboration and motivation in educational environments. My name is Christopher Warren, and this is for Education 6610 at Memorial University. This narrated slideshow is an overview of my annotated bibliography. The bibliography was organized in the following manner. The first section was an introduction as to the nature of Web 2.0 technologies in general. The second section is on the use of Web 2.0 technologies to facilitate collaboration in educational environments. And the third and final section, how this collaboration motivates students and improves learning. The first article in my introduction was a critical analysis on the various types of Web 2.0 technologies that are available and how they relate to a connectivist model of teaching. It acts as a good starting point in any deeper discussion of Web 2.0 in particular, as it can act as a survey of what is available. The author seeks to inform the reader of the various Web 2.0 technologies available and their applicability in educational settings. How they differ from the older, more static Web 1.0 technologies is also included. Generally, the author distinguishes Web 1.0 from 2.0 in the following way. Web 1.0 is more static and has the webmaster in control of the content, making the user a consumer. Web 2.0 is more dynamic and allows the user to both consume and create content in real time. Examples of older Web 1.0 technologies include web pages that employ hyperlinks, personal websites, message boards, and any other site that acts as read-only. Examples of Web 2.0 technologies include wikis, YouTube, Flickr, and Facebook. The author notes that any platform that allows users to tag, make comments, and communicate and share in real time may be Web 2.0 in nature. Finally, the author notes that Web 2.0 facilitates a connectivist model of teaching, where students learn through networking, and this networking is facilitated and stored through technology. The next article in my introduction is another critical analysis of the characteristics of Web 2.0 use in schools and which type of tools can be used for different educational purposes. Whereas the last author discusses the types of Web 2.0 technologies and how it fits into learning in general, this source goes into more specifics on how each type of Web 2.0 tool could be used for different types of tasks teachers do in the classroom. This source builds on the last, giving a more concrete view of how the technology could be deployed. After going over the various characteristics of Web 2.0 in the school, a chart is provided that goes over the student inquiry process, specific learning strategies, and which particular type of Web 2.0 tool is best suited to facilitate that learning and activity. Here is the chart, and this is the inquiry process. And here the author mentions the phases, and these are the teaching and learning strategies of this phase of the inquiry, and here are the specific tools that can help out with that stage. The next section of my bibliography, Web 2.0 to promote collaboration in educational environments. This article is a critical review of the current literature and offers an analysis of how Web 2.0 facilitates collaboration compared to older technologies such as the Web 1.0 interfaces. The authors provide a survey of the current general types of technologies that make collaboration easier. These include social networks, e-learning platforms, and cloud computing. The authors also introduced the notion of the semantic web, where data is linked across multiple platforms and accessed and managed by educators. This ability allows students to interact and draw upon knowledge from multiple sources, and when utilized with a Web 2.0 cloud platform, allows students to collaborate and work with a wide range of material that otherwise might be considered static. The authors provide a diagram right here that shows synchronous lecture, asynchronous independent study, and online consultation, and how they all link through cloud computing together in an e-learning 2.0 environment. The next article focuses on teachers, and specifically how Web 2.0 resources can promote collaboration among teachers to improve learning and help teachers be more effective. If teachers are to use Web 2.0 in the classroom, it is important that teachers be able to model those resources themselves and see personal benefit. This article offers a critical analysis of how Web 2.0 can be used in co-teaching situations. The authors contend that Web 2.0 can allow teachers to co-plan in situations where meetings are not always possible. The authors list several tools that can be used and how these tools might apply in co-teaching situations, and offers templates that can be used to help facilitate Web 2.0 use for various co-teaching scenarios. What I'm showing you right here is an example of how we're using Web 2.0 in my own practice to promote collaboration amongst teachers. Right here we're using a platform called Google+. It's only available to DDSB employees, so this is not publicly available to everybody. You have to log into our platform to be able to see these posts. And right here we have a community set up on G Suite and Google Classroom use. This staff member right here, whose permission I have to include in this presentation, has posted some resources, and myself and him are collaborating right here about the usefulness of this. I took a picture of him giving a presentation on this, and I posted it to our Web 2.0 community as well. And we are doing other PD here and sharing resources with other staff members. This next article deals with the challenges around Web 2.0. The authors provide a critical analysis of the various challenges faced by education institutions, such as the role students should play in generating knowledge through collaboration, for example, in disagreements with fellow students and the instructor. Also, the role teachers should play, facilitator versus information source, and also legal issues are discussed. The authors also note that the nature of teaching is currently changing, and that teachers have challenges in making sure that social media plays the appropriate role in the areas just mentioned, and there can be unintended consequences. Right here is a screen capture of my online class in D2L that I'm using right now for the first time. And the course is a business technology course, and my students are using the Web 2.0 platform called YouTube to create videos and discuss content that they are creating. So the students are creating online tutorials, and one of the things I noticed is that the students were actually disliking each other's videos. They were doing it as a way of sort of poking fun and having a bit of a joke with their classmates, but it's not really a respectful way to talk about each other's videos. So that was an unintended consequence of having the Web 2.0 collaboration aspect, and I had to address that here. And you can see this is my announcement where I had to do so in the class. So when the students log in, they get a reminder saying to be respectful of their classmates. The next part of my bibliography, Web 2.0 based collaboration provides motivation and improves learning. As opposed to the critical analysis approach used in earlier studies mentioned, this article uses case studies to explore the implementation of Web 2.0 in university and discusses the implementation steps taken using a qualitative approach. The authors utilize the case studies to collect data to answer two questions. How does the use of Web 2.0 tools influence student engagement and learning outcomes? What contextual factors affect integration of 2.0 technologies? The authors found that students had a high learning curve if they were not familiar with the tool, and that Web 2.0 worked better in some subjects rather than others. It was important to choose the right Web 2.0 tool for the right purpose, such as blogs for writing tasks, etc. This next study looks mainly at asynchronous discussion boards in a blended environment to determine how it would fit into a Web 2.0 enabled classroom. The authors sought to determine how online discussions could help motivate students, increase student satisfaction with their learning, and increase grades. The authors collected data from students on various aspects concerning the use of discussion boards, such as the familiarity with discussion boards and how often they used them within an LMS. Finally, they gathered surveys on how satisfied students were with the course afterwards. The authors found that students were more satisfied with their course and their learning, and their grades were improved as well. Here, I am providing some screen captures of how I am using a discussion board within my LMS, which is D2L. In this situation right here, student A has asked a question about how to write a formula to write averages. The student did not know how to do this and posted it in the discussion forum. Over here is actually one of the responses that were posted to the student's question by another student. We'll call that student B. Student B was able to provide a screen capture of the right tool to use and gave a description of how that tool works and also gave a warning on how to specifically use that tool. So again, we had student A asking the question, and later on in the thread, student B answered the question. So far, feedback has been very good. The students are very motivated to ask questions, and they're very motivated to answer questions. Parents have also indicated that kids in the class are actually very motivated in this way of teaching and learning. And also right now the marks are quite good in the class. So far early results are very good for me, and they match what was in the article just posted. The next article is appropriate to include as it deals with the key component of student motivation, reflection and feedback. The authors in this critical study advocate the use of blogs that have guided questions that require students to reflect on various aspects of a unit of study. The instructor and classmates, the intended audience, have an opportunity to offer feedback on the reflections. It is through this consideration of an intended audience that helps encourage students to deeply reflect on their learning, and this increases motivation. This next article is a critical analysis of how blogs, a Web 2.0 technology, can promote collaboration and motivation for students when doing writing tasks. The author cites various studies that indicate that students that use this platform to collaborate with their peers motivates them to learn and improves outcomes. Also provided are some resources that allow a teacher to safely use this technology, set it up. It gives some sample rubrics. This article is an appropriate inclusion in this list as it has a concise exemplar on how Web 2.0 technology works in a school setting. Here is the sample rubric. This final article is a critical analysis of how some other Web 2.0 tools besides blogs could be used to motivate students. Popular tools such as Fakebook, Google Classroom, EduCreations, and Seesaw are discussed. The authors note other studies that indicate that student engagement is essential to effective classroom management, and the article analyzes the ways in which Web 2.0 tools listed contribute to engaged, motivated students. In particular, the authors note how some tools, such as Google Classroom, align with standards advocated by the International Society for Technology Integration. Using this particular tool, teachers can flip their classroom and allow students to interact with the content as they build knowledge. In conclusion, Web 2.0 can promote collaboration, and it's this collaboration that motivates students and improves learning. We have also seen how this is working in my own classroom. Thank you very much.